Say hello to my little friend. Yes, folks, I found this little contraption online, and I'm going to be doing an experiment, so I'm going to make a couple of subsequent videos on this to let you know what happens. I'm actually doing this just to increase my power and volume. I don't know if you figured this out. I don't really need to increase my range, and I definitely don't need to increase my endurance. But power, I'm all for being the most dominant, powerful brass player anytime, any place, anywhere, baby. And let's just see what this does. I just did like, what, 10 reps of that, and feel there's something going on. Now, this is an isometric activity, kind of, because you actually have a device. So, I mean, you're actually doing, an exercise, where isometric means you're kind of like tensing muscles against themselves. Kind of like if you just kind of grip your fist, go like that, that's kind of isometrical. Where if you had something that you were squeezing, that would be just more of a regular type of calisthenic exercise. So, for those of you who follow my stuff, I think you might get a kick out of what happens. I like to give things a decent amount of time, so I'm going to give this little contraption here about a month to see what happens and see if I notice when I get ready to blow. In fact, I might get out my old trusty decibel meter. Remember that one from a couple years ago? And the threshold of pain, if you remember watching that one and the new one I just put out, the threshold of pain for your ears is 130 decibels. Now, if you watched that one from a couple years ago, which I just recently kind of edited, I got my double A up to 126.5. Folks, now that's trained whistleblowing loud. And then I included a couple examples where, I buried the band with that note. What I would like to see is if this guy can get me up to that 130 mark on my double A. Yes, that would be cool. That means anybody that I don't like would experience the threshold of pain at 130 decibels on my double A. Yes, it will become a legitimate weapon of vengeance. And you too can be able to exact revenge on people that rub you the wrong freaking way. So, for those of you who play trumpet, watch my progress on this little contraption. And by the way, I'm thinking that even if you don't play trumpet, guys, this could be a wonderful Christmas gift for your girlfriend or wife. You know what I'm talking about, baby? Yes, so even if she doesn't play trumpet or is not a musician, you still may want to order this for her. Get my drift? Let's exit with a little bit more exercise here. Ready? Thanks again for watching this video. I hope that you got something out of it. Sometimes I make a video just to make you laugh. A lot of times I make a video to educate you on something and maybe even help solve a problem. So I hope something like that occurred for you in this video. And while you're at it, again, subscribe, click on my website link, and go on to the next video. It's lovely out here. Have a great day. Three tips to help you get the pedal C on trumpet, and then pedal C downwards. Pedal C starts off tier 2 pedal tones. Many of you can't even get the pedal C to even begin to get into the tier 2 range of pedal tones. Tier 2 range of pedal tones is the most difficult of all pedal tones, and they are also the pedal tones responsible for really increasing your power and your high range. They tend to have a real raspy, nasally trombone sound, and we do want to play them as loud as we can. So, alright, tip number 1. we're going to cheat. Sometimes cheating helps. So, if you can't play the low C and then drop down an octave to the pedal C open, that's actually really, really loud, folks. That's probably about 3 Fs. I can back off a little bit. You can actually cheat and play 1, 2, and 3 for the pedal C. Now, what happens when you play 1, 2, and C? You'll notice that the quality of tone and timbre changes to that of Tier 1 pedal tones. So, Tier 1 pedal tones are medium in difficulty. So, they're not too easy, they're not too hard, they're kind of right in between. By adding 1, 2, and 3, you now bump the pedal C back up into Tier 1. It'll be a little bit easier for you, but at least you're still getting it. Now listen to the difference. Low C. Now I'm going to cheat and play 1, 2, and 3 for the pedal. Sounds pretty, right? Compared to... That's the real pedal tone. Okay, so first way to get it is to cheat and to use 1, 2, and 3 to get the pedal tone out. While you're doing that, you could, just for giggles, throw off the all 3 valves at once and see where you are at and trying to get a piece of that pedal C. Watch. Now I'm making that look really, really easy, folks. But what's going to happen is, as soon as you throw your fingers off, you're going to see where some of your deficits are in your chops and what you need to work on, because that note might drop or it'll go up. Always remember this: the only reason you can never get any pedal tone is lack of embouchure strength. That includes your lips. Remember, pedal tones don't really exist on the horn acoustically. We're actually manipulating things to get them to come out. So never come up with an excuse of why you can't play the pedal tones, the horn or the mouthpiece or whatever. It's always due to a lack of embouchure strength. If you can't go through all at least 4 tiers of the pedal tones, all of them, it's due to a lack of strength here and also your lips. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, the second tip now, to be able to help you reach that pedal C, is, for many people, they describe the pedal C as a note that's not on the horn, that they can never get. It doesn't exist. It's just not there. Remember, the only reason it's not there is because you don't have enough strength here. That's simply the answer. So, okay, what can we do for our second tip to get into the pedal C? Do the scoop method. A lot of times, intermediate and advanced players will try to get the pedal C to come out, but they'll come in around an A or B flat. It comes out something like this. And they're fighting, but that's actually a good way to fight it. You want to fight and sharpen and raise the pitch. Well, actually, I hit it too close there. Let me go down under it a little bit more. See how I did that? We're scooping into it. So that's tip number 2, scoop. Okay, again, I'm making that look quite easy. You won't likely be able to do that right when you first try it. But listen, how did I get to do it? By practicing. I practiced until my lips were falling off to get these pedal tones a long, long time ago. You got to practice it. You'll increase the strength and you'll get it to come out. The third way, now this is a little bit more of an advanced technique, so you should already be familiar with tongue arch. And so tongue arch is what we use normally when we ascend and we want to get above the staff and keep going higher. We're also using it when we're doing our shakes and our lip trills, right? You can actually employ the tongue arch in the Tier 2 pedal tone range, because Tier 2 pedal tones are almost a substitute or kissing cousin for practicing in the upper register. Okay, yeah, so the third way and tip for getting your first pedal C, or at least pushing that direction, is use the tongue arch, as I already mentioned before. You start off with the low C positioning, which is a drop jaw, a little bit wider aperture, and your tongue's flat in your mouth like you're saying ah. You got an egg in your mouth. Just a little bit of exaggeration. But instead of freezing and keeping that same position in your mouth, you're going to bring your chin up. You're going to arch your tongue up into a knee position as you go down to the pedal C. Ah yee. Ah yee. And so you're going to have, of course, when you put your tongue into the tongue arch position, you're going to have to actually blow harder because now you're bloating against more resistance. That resistance is the tongue in your mouth. You're going to blow harder. You got to blow more air. Actually, you're not going to blow more air. You're going to blow air. It's going to seem like you're blowing more air, but you're blowing against this resistance, and that actually speeds up the air. There we go. That's a little bit better description. But you'll feel like you're forcing, like you're blowing more when you put the tongue in that arch position. I have my tongue right curled up as much as I could, arched as much as I could to get that pedal C out. I can still do it low. It's harder, it's less efficient. That's no arch, that's no tongue arch. That relies on lots of air and pure embouchure strength, so the tongue arch makes things more efficient down in the tier 2 pedal range. That was with tongue arch. So to recap, the 3 tips and tricks and techniques you can use to get your first pedal C to come out and then keep continuing down in tier 2 pedal tones all the way to G flat, pedal G flat. What was the first one? What, you don't remember? Cheating. Cheating's number 1. The second one is doing the what? I think someone got it. You know, it's like those Fritos. Ah, you got it. Scoops. You seen those Frito scoops? Yes. Scoop. Got to scoop the note. And then the third way is what we just finished up on, is using the tongue arch. So these are the 3 ways that are going to push you in the right positive direction for getting your first pedal C out on the horn. Yes. Hi, I'm Kurt Thompson and welcome to my channel. That's youtube.com/yourbrassinstructor. Thanks for just watching the video that you did. Maybe it's the first one that you've watched, or maybe you've watched tons of my videos. In fact, as of June 2016, as a brass player and trumpet player, I have the most tutorials free on the planet. I have over 600 videos on my YouTube channel currently, all free. So again, thanks again for watching this video. I hope that you got something out of it. Sometimes I make a video just to make you laugh. A lot of times I make a video to educate you on something and maybe even help solve a problem. So I hope something like that occurred for you in this video. And while you're at it, again, subscribe, click on my website link, and go on to the next video. It's lovely out here. Have a great day. Hey, I'm Kurt Thompson, and you're at Your Brass Instructor. Check out all my videos. You're going to find a lot of great, helpful information. My main niche is upper register, high range, power, and endurance. And that's what the focus is on here at Your Brass Instructor. Incredibly, I have reduced my 16-week course instant download to below $200. You can't beat it. It's like a month of lessons, but a semester-long course that will change your life. Don't take my word for it. Go through my channel and watch the hundreds of reviews of people who have graduated from this course. You can't miss it. And like I've been saying, would you trade $200 to add 4 notes to your range? Of course you would. Catch you later. You are looking at a book that you should be very familiar with. It's the red Dr. Charles Colin Advanced Lip Flexibilities for a Trumpet, volumes 1, 2, and 3. In my opinion, as an advanced trumpet player, as a semi-pro player, as a professional, you should have already gone through most of this book. Now, not everybody can get to the back of the book, but you should try, definitely. You should know this book pretty much inside and out. You should have mastered it as much as you can. And if you tell me that you did, I don't even need to hear you play it. I know that you're probably a pretty good player. If you have no clue what this book is all about, and you've never gone through it, my guess is that you still have a lot of work left to do on the trumpet. But we're talking about starting at the very end of this book today, not the beginning. It's not a beginning or intermediate lesson. We're going to turn to the very back of the book, which is the last section in the book. It's like page 79. It's section 8C to A above high C. And a lot of people try to get through the book. Some people actually arrive at the end of the book and finish that last one, maybe just barely, or maybe they can actually finish it and then they think they're done and they've arrived. But no, that's not the case. So we have some things that are out of the scope of this book and many other methods as far as upper register that you can keep pursuing to develop yourself into the best that you can be. Popped out the first three on that page, and now we're on to the last page. I'm not going to go through all of the rest of these just for time's sake, because my important message to you is what we're going to do after that. So let's do maybe one or two more of these, and I have my own way of doing it. I realize that some of you guys may start and hold that in the first note as indicated with a fermata. You may go to the other notes and hold those longer, but not me. I have my own way that I've been doing it for years, and so I'm just going to do it how I do it. It works best for me. I do throw in some extra notes at the end. I throw in some pedal tones just because even though you're doing lip flexibility studies and the name flexibility implies some flexibility in your lips, well, you do a lot of these and your lips actually start to stiffen up if you do too many. And you have to do too many on a regular basis, not every day, but to be able to build. To maintain you don't, but to build you have to do kind of overdo it so you get stronger. So I'm going to pick another one. Let's go to 24E, and that starts on high C. First bell. And then the last one, which is 24G, D, high D. Okay, so now you've just finished the book. Think that you're done, and maybe you're going to go back and dibble dabble through the book. But that's not going to get you anywhere because you've actually done the hardest one in the book. So if you kind of work your way backwards just for maintenance, you're just going to maintain what you got, and you're not going to get any better. Your range is not really going to improve. You might improve your endurance a little bit, but that's about it. So where do we continue on this exercise? We continue with E flat. And you start off with 2 and 3. So you got E flat, 2 and 3 up there after the D. continues. The same format. And you keep working yourself up. Now I'm not going to go through each one, but for me, I actually go up to double G. So that was E flat. So I do E flat, I'd rest a little bit, E, rest, F sharp, and then I'd hit the double G. When you do that last one on double G, you're actually getting up to like a triple D, or some people might call it a double D. Anyway, you're above super C that way. That's usually where I stop for my maintenance right now. If I'm really preparing for a show, or if I'm really trying to build, I will actually force out some more lip trill studies above that one. And there you start approaching the triple C when you do that. And it's good for you if you really have some stuff that's going to be challenging you. So I'm going to do maybe two more. So we just did E flat, and then you would go to E, 1 and 2, F first, F sharp second, and then G is about usually where I end up on a regular basis. So we'll go to F. So if you did F right, your top note should have been double Z. So the last one would be G. Let's just pretend that you did F sharp, which I didn't do, but you're going to do F sharp, take a break, and then you're going to start on double G, and your top note should be the D above that. So those are some exercises that you can do past the end of this book. Now, there are so many other techniques that I do beyond the scope of both books. Some I've commingled with other exercises from other people, and some exercises are things I've made up on my own. But when you're trying to develop your upper register and your high notes and your sound and your tone way up high, there's no question, if you're not doing these types of lip flexibility exercises, my guess is either that you're not up there that high, or if you are, you got one of those real thin, shrill, annoying, lead playing kind of upper register sounds that most people just can't stand to listen to. And there's some famous people out there who have that kind of sound. I think we know who we're talking about. But you don't want to end up sounding like that. You want to get a nice, big, round Bill Chase, Doc Severinsen, Maynard Ferguson, should have mentioned him first, but those are the sounds that you want to get. A nice, big, round, beautiful tone in the upper register, not a shrill, shrieking, thin, annoying high note sounds that sounds like someone just backed over a cat. And some people can play high and sound like that, but hopefully you won't be sounding like that after this. See you in the next lesson. Hey, I'm here going to talk about tongue arch a little bit. Simply because although I've tried to explain it before, even demonstrate it before, people still have trouble actually doing it. Now a lot of people think that they're doing tongue arch. This is for all brass players really. Tongue arch, as you probably should know, is a second stage of compression. Diaphragm first, tongue arch and the bottleneck at the throat second, and your aperture and your ability to keep your aperture narrow is the third stage of compression. But it's that second stage of compression which is really important in the problematic area for most brass players. A lot of you think you're doing it, but you're not. I can instantly recognize, I don't even need to hear you in the same room. And that's why I'm so effective teaching on phone and by Skype. I can hear when someone is not doing tongue arch because they have this strained, forced sound that does not come with a tongue arch. It comes when you're not doing the tongue arch. You got the tongue arch, it's free and it's effortless. You can just tell there's a different kind of quality to the sound. I'm going to try to get down and dirty in my mouth. I think you can see it. It's not going to be pleasant. But some of you got to realize what's going on. When I talk about roll in and roll out, a lot of people don't get that. I'm not sure why that is. So first off, you need to understand the concept of roll out and roll in. Roll out, roll in. Okay? When you are going higher, eventually, when you really get an expertise at the upper register, you can do both of this in real time. And you can do it in the form of a glissando. Here's like low A. I'm not warmed up, folks, so pardon me here. Look at, that's kind of a roll out, isn't it? More roll in, right? Even more roll in. Awesome roll in, okay? So I went from here. Sorry, it's flat. Not much roll in. In real time. A little bit sloppy. That's real time rolling, folks. To be able to do what I just did, you have to be able to roll your lips in and roll them out in real time. Now, for those of you who haven't graduated to that level, and actually it's very, very difficult. I have to say that I don't meet too many people that can do that. It's just difficult. So your second best way to do it would be to already have the roll in place. Okay? So when you're wanting to play higher, or if you have to start a higher passage, you need to already be rolled in. You can't start above the staff with a roll out. It's just going to have that strain sound. Even with my tongue arch. Let's roll out. Recognize that sound? I certainly do. Because I hear it in a lot of people that I teach. And most of the time when they get done with me, they don't make that sound anymore. Because they've learned proper tongue arch and roll in. So you can't start a passage. Let's go back real quick. Ultimately, you want to be able to do what I just did. Roll in and roll out in real time. Okay? That's ultimately. But during the interim, while you're still getting this down, you at least got to roll in when you're starting a higher passage. So you can't start above the staff with a roll out. You got to start with a roll in. Roll them in. Rolling. That's rolling, folks. Seems like a lot of people don't get that. I hardly ever get on the forums anymore for obvious reasons, but when I've gotten on there, it seems like every other topic is about roll in and roll out. So people are still having tons and tons of problems with roll in and roll out. So get the roll in down. Now when you get the roll in down, you roll in your lips as much as possible, and you're trying to put as much lip tissue into the mouthpiece as possible to play higher. So I'm rolling in. Let's say I want to go, let's just like ridiculously higher. I got to really roll in. I am a dry lip player, by the way, but sorry. I'm just trying to get my roll in without scraping up my lips too much. Roll in. Now I'm going to put some pressure and put as much lips in the mouthpiece as I can. Actually, that wasn't too horribly difficult for me. I'm not really warmed up. It's almost impossible to play too low or even low at all, with the roll-in as extreme as I was doing. Watch. I mean, even that high C felt low to me. So roll-in extreme. I mean, I'm having trouble getting the high C out practically because I rolled in so much and I got so much lip tissue that it really narrows down the aperture. Now I'll roll out a little bit. A little bit more. So for me, I actually had to roll out considerably to accommodate the high C, probably because I'm used to playing so much past that. And for you, you're going to have to feel where you are on the instrument. You have to get the roll in, folks. It has to be there. Learn it, do it, use it. Now, if you got the roll in without the tongue arch, remember in the beginning I was doing the roll out on the high A, but with the tongue arch. What happens if you have the roll in with no tongue arch? Other people sound like this. So you got the roll in part down, but they don't have any tongue arch. So it sounds like this. Roll in. Roll in. Again, the hallmark of somebody who is not doing the tongue arch properly is a very forced and strained sound. And of course, you don't really have a lot of good range if you're not doing the tongue arch at all. So, hope you recognize that sound. If you hear that in your own sound, you need to start paying attention here and get with the program. Get that tongue arch down, get the roll in. So roll in, but no tongue arch. Listen to the difference when I go higher. Okay, roll in, drop my tongue. Sounds like crap, doesn't it? It's got that forced, strained, quivering, wavering tone that people get when they're not using tongue arch. So put the tongue arch back on, and I don't know if you can tell this, but I'm one-arming this myself, which is not easy to play and do this at the same time. So I'm actually holding the camera. With tongue arch. Notes lock in. In fact, that almost hurt my ears, folks. That was louder than, okay? This was loud. So, and I was one arm banded on that double A scale, right? So now let's go back to what's going on inside your mouth. Low C positioning. Ah. Ah. There you go. You can see my tongue. Ah. So for low C. Ah. I'm going to freeze my tongue when I get done playing with no tongue arch. Low C. Notice there's hardly any roll in. It's just more of a roll out. That's where my tongue was. Flat with that kind of dip into it. Let's see what happens if you do the tongue arch. Now the tongue arch should be with your tip of your tongue, right there, behind your teeth. Here. Okay, now you got the first part of the tongue arch. Now the tongue arches up. That is your tongue arch when your teeth are shut. Okay? It's not here. Some people are doing all kinds of wacky crap and it's not going to help you. In fact, I don't even know how some people can do it. Your tongue arch is not just arching up like that. I don't even know how you can play if you're doing that, but some people are arching it up, but they still sound pretty bad. And the reason is you have to have your tongue anchored. The The tongue can be anchored at the top of the bottom teeth. Here's the bottom teeth, obviously, near the top. Right there. Or down lower. I'm right down almost at the gum line. You getting this, folks? Why are we doing this? Because no air is coming around the sides of your tongue. Only the air can come up and over the tongue and come down and come out your aperture. That's why just building lip strength and chops is not the be all end all to everything, because you have to have this air sped up at the second stage of compression. The air is coming up here. Now you've already got the first stage down. We're not going to talk about that right now with the diaphragm. But basically it's a bottled up high compressed air. So that's diaphragm. The air is coming up through your throat. It comes in and immediately it should meet the resistance